and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you will consider to hit the subscribe button and join my creative squad. If you're already subscribed to my channel, I want to take this moment to thank you from the bottom of my heart because it means a lot to me. Right now, I am at 85 subscribers and I would have never thought that 85 people would be watching my DIY. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. And I am so excited for today's video. I made 6 Christmas DIYs and I had so much fun making them. I hope you like this video and let's get started. For this DIY, mainly I'm going to be using these wooden beads from the Dollar Tree and this jute rope, and then I'm going to make my first ornament with this jingle bell, and I'm gonna take one of them and tie it to one of the ends of the rope, and I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to make sure that it's not going to come undone. And now I'm moving on to picking my beads, and I want to say I pick the larger ones and the medium-sized ones, and I'm going to start putting them in my jute rope. And now I'm going to make a knot, but I'm not gonna run the whole cord through. I'm gonna leave the loop right there, and I'm just gonna tie the remainder of the cord around it and then glue it into place, so that creates a hanger. For ornament number 2, I'm going to create a tassel with this rope, and I'm just going to tie it around my hand, and once I'm happy with how much I have, I'm gonna wrap around to create the loop to hang my tassel, just like that. And then I'm gonna tie the 2 ends together. And now I'm gonna trim the ends to create that tassel, and then after that I'm gonna take another piece of the rope and then run it through the loop that is left so I can hang my tassel and also be able to run my little beads through it. And just so you know, I glue my 2 ends together to help run the beads through it. Now I'm just adjusting my tassel because I wanted to create this and I wanted it to look like a gnome. So I took one of these red berries and glue it and pretended that was its nose, and I think it does look like a gnome. I don't know, let me know in the comments below what you think. For ornament number 3, I'm going to be using this mesh ribbon because I wanted to create another tassel, but I wanted it to have different color. So if you have a red ribbon that it's pretty and you like, you could use that, but this is the only thing I had, so this is what I'm gonna use. So I'm going to be doing the exact same thing I did with the other one besides gluing the little red berry, and that's all I'm gonna do with this one. For ornament number 4, I'm going to be creating a little Christmas tree with this bead. So I'm gonna take 7 of the beads and I'm gonna put them in the rope. Once they are in there, the last 3 I put there, I'm going to glue them on top of the first 4 in like a pyramid shape, and I'm gonna add hot glue to it to make sure they stay in place. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the rest of the beads. So just creating a pyramid, and that is my last one. And then to be able to hang it or create a hanger, I'm going to glue the bottom end of the rope through the middle because that's going to be my back. So I'm just going to use hot glue to keep it in place, and then I'm just going to make a knot on the top and create a little loop for it. Okay, this part is optional, but I wanted mine to be white, so I'm gonna take this paint. It's like a creamy beige color, and I'm gonna paint my beads because otherwise they're not gonna go with my decorations. And this is what it looks like. So I took this little slate that I got from the Dollar Tree and took the ribbon away and glue it onto my little Christmas tree, and this is the end result. I think they turned out super cute. I think I'm gonna make a lot more of these so I can decorate my tree with them. Let me know what you think. For this DIY, I'm going to be using one of these wire rings that I found at the Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 2, so I'm taking 1. And then I'm going to take this burlap ribbon and I'm going to remove the lace because I don't want it, and I couldn't find any of the plain burlap ribbon. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to glue the end down, and I'm going to glue it into the middle ring. And then after this, I'm going to start wrapping my ribbon around until I am done covering the whole ring up. Now I'm going to glue down the other end, and this is what it looks like once it's completed. Now I created this bow using the Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm gonna cover the middle with this piece of jute rope. This bow is super easy to make, but I didn't show it in this video, but there will be a link in the description box if you're interested in watching how I create this bow, or this type of bow. And anyway, moving on, I just grabbed a piece of this jute rope and then I just tied in the middle, and I love how it looks now. Now I'm gonna take my bow and I'm going to glue that right in front of the where I glued down my two ends of the burlap ribbon, and I'm just gonna add hot glue to that and glue it into place. And then this jingle bell came with this really cute pine cones, but they were glued together with like a big glob of hot glue and it looked really ugly, so I removed that and took that off and then glued them back on there. Very extra step, but I don't know, it was bothering me. And then I created a small little bow with this jute rope that I have, and then now I'm gonna take my jingle bell and I'm going to glue it on the back of the wreath, and I just added hot glue. I also added a little piece of cardboard to cover that up just to make sure it was going to be secure into place. I didn't show it here, but I decided to add a piece of the burlap fabric that I have to hang my wreath, and this is what it looked like. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For this DIY, I'm going to be recycling these logs that I originally got from the Dollar Tree. I haven't seen them at the store yet, but I'm sure they'll be back soon. So basically, I'm going to be upgrading the look of this Christmas trees, and I'm gonna start with 6 of these logs, and I make sure that they were kind of around the same size, and I guess just size, and I started gluing them around the base of my Christmas tree. Once I had them glued down, I added a bunch more glue on top of it to make sure that they're not going to be moving around, and then I proceeded to finding more logs that kind of look around the same size, and I'm going to glue those into place as well right next to the ones that we already glued down. Now I'm going to be creating a second layer to this, and I'm going to be gluing them down to the outside ring that we created, and I picked the logs that kind of were around the same size that the bottom were and started gluing them down to make it look like it's one log only and not 2 of them glued together, if that makes any sense. And as you can see, I only did that to what I was going to be using as the front of or my display tree, because not all the logs were the same size. As you can see, these ones are not even, so I'm not worried about that because that's gonna be on the back. But anyway, I added some Spanish moss in the middle to cover up that plastic part from the Christmas tree. For Christmas tree number 2, I'm going to be using this bucket that I had for a long time and never knew what to do with it. And so here we are. I'm going to use this to put my Christmas tree in. And for that, I'm going to take this piece of foam board, or not foam board, fluorofoam. And I'm going to add some hot glue and glue it to the bottom of my bucket. And then I'm taking the Spanish moss and putting it right in there. And then I'm going to take my Christmas tree and stick it right in the foam. And voila, you have a really cute Christmas tree. Don't mind the white spots on my tree. Fun fact, this tree was white as well as the other one. Did you notice? Probably not. I did a good job, right? Well, not if you look at it really close. But anyway, I had to spray paint mine green because I could not find any green trees for my life. But anyway, moving on. Here is a picture of my Christmas trees. I think they turned out super cute and I can't wait to use them to decorate my house with. For this DIY, I'm going to start by grabbing this foam sheet snowflakes, and also I'm going to be using this green garland ties, and I'm going to take one of the snowflakes and I'm going to start by trimming it down because this is the best way I found it to work, and it's already in the shape of a snowflake, so that's why I'm using this one. But anyway, moving on, once I trim those down to the size that I need them, I'm going to start by grabbing one of the ties and folding it in half half and cutting that into the middle, and then I'm going to start gluing them down. The reason why I did this is because if I glue them down as they are, the little hairs are going to all be facing the same way, and I thought that that was gonna look weird. I didn't like it how it looks, so I cut mine in half, and now they're all of them are facing out, and they look a lot better if you ask me. Once the 6 longer pieces are glued down, I'm going to move on to start covering the smaller parts of this snowflake, and I'm going to use the same technique, cutting them to the size and then gluing them into place until I am done. This is what it looks like now, and as you can see, there's still some white spots that I can still see, so I'm gonna glue little extra pieces on those spots to cover the white on them. Now I'm going to take my burlap fabric that I've already had, but if you don't have this, you can get some of the burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna cut a band off of this, and I'm going to glue it to the back of my snowflake to be able to hang it and make it look super cute. So I'm going to use hot glue for that. Once that is down, I took this decoration from the Dollar Tree. It says Believe, and I really like it. It originally had a little pine cone in the middle, but I had removed it, and now I had to add it back because it was missing that. And then I'm just going to add hot glue to my words and then glue them down onto the snowflake. And here is the end result. I think it turned out super cute. Let me know what you think. This centerpiece, I'm going to be taking 2 of these wooden dowels. You can find them at the Dollar Tree. I've seen them there, but this one's I already had on hand. And now I'm gonna take this floral foam, and I'm gonna cut 2 pieces to be able to sit my soon-to-be Christmas trees on them and be able to add my garland around it. Now that I have those standing, I'm gonna take my garland, and just kidding, I'm gonna take it off the foam, and I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to start wrapping around the garland. And when I get to the top, I'm going to glue that into place as well. Don't mind my garland falling on the floor. All right, now that I have my base, I'm gonna take these ties that are also made from garland, but they're a little bit smaller. I'm gonna take them, and so basically don't do this what I'm about to do now. Cut them in the middle and then wrap them around, because I did this and it happened the same thing that happened with the snowflake, where they all are facing one side and they look kind of weird, as you can see right there. So instead of doing that, cut them in half and then wrap them around. I did end up fixing this, but I didn't record it, so don't do this. Instead, do this. So these ones were towards the top, and I cut them to the size I need them. So the up you go, the smaller you want your little ties to be, because otherwise your Christmas tree is not gonna look like a Christmas tree. You need them to go be longer at the bottom and then smaller as you go up. So just take your strings and just cut them and then wrap them around, just like I did that one. For the centerpiece, I'm going to be using this box that I created in one of my past videos. I will leave the video in the description box if you're interested in knowing how I created this. But anyway, now I'm going to take this piece of floral foam, and I'm going to add hot glue in the middle. And then I'm going to add my Christmas tree right in the middle of the foam. And that's gonna help it stay on there and not be wobbling. And you can glue this down if you want to. I didn't, because I'm probably gonna be using this again for something else. So now I'm going to be taking my reindeer moss and I'm going to fill in my box with it. Okay, I didn't record this part, but the little bows that you see on the Christmas trees came from Big Jingle Bell Ornaments. I removed them from those because it's a DIY that you are gonna see at the end of this video. But anyway, now I'm taking these 3 white candles that I had on hand. They came from the Dollar Tree, but I would suggest that if you can find battery operated ones, use those, because these ones, the real ones, you're not gonna be able to light them up unless you want gonna burn down your whole centerpiece. But anyway, now I'm taking my red berry garland and I'm just going to start wrapping it around, making it look effortless and rustic. And the reason why mine is trimmed down is because I did try several ways and this is what I found and liked more. And here is the end result. I think this turned out super cute. For this DIY, I'm going to start by taking this 3 big jingle bells and removing the little green piece that comes with them to decorate them. Once I'm done doing that, I'm taking this wooden star and taking my spackling and filling in the hole in this star. Once that is done, I'm taking this ivory color chalk paint that I have and I'm going to paint my star with it. To give it a distressed look, once it's dry, I mix this brown and black acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree and just start adding some strokes on it to make it look distressed. And once that is dry, I'm taking this sanding sheet and I'm gonna sand it down to give it a more distressed look. Now that my star is ready to go, I'm gonna take my hot glue and start gluing my pieces together. If you have a stronger glue, I would suggest you use it. I didn't, I forgot to buy it, so this is what I use for the purpose of this video. So I'm gonna start by gluing down my first big jingle bell and then adding glue to that jingle bell and then gluing down my second jingle bell. You can arrange them however you want. This is what I liked for mine. For the one at the top, I'm going to remove the hook that comes with the jingle bell to hang it and I'm gonna add it on top. Once that is glued into place, I'm going to be taking these cups from the Dollar Tree and taking the bottom of it, and those are going to be my candle holder piece, and I'm also going to be glue it down. And I just added some hot glue, not a lot because I don't want the big glop of glue to come out and be able to notice it, but enough to glue it down into place, and added one of these Dollar Tree candles right on top and it looks amazing. For candelabra number 2, I'm going to be taking 2 of the bottom of these cups and I'm going to add some hot glue and then glue one of my jingle bells into it, and then taking the second one, and in this case I pushed the little hook down instead of trying to get it out, and just glue that into place, and then added my piece on top of it just like I did the other one, and voila! There you have it. It's a super easy and fun candelabra to make. I think it looks amazing and expensive. This was my favorite DIY. Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite and which one you're going to be recreating. I love making these DIYs. Please don't forget to give my video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you're not already. I would appreciate if you join my creative squad. Don't forget to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next DIY. Bye.